In this next part, we're going to talk about writing linear equations. Now, there's going to be two parts to this one. So, when we're talking about writing linear equations, we're going to talk about first about when you're given two corner points. So, in our first example, our two corner points is 3, -10 and -1, 2. So, it's going to tie into finding slope first, so which we did before. And in order to work on that, first you have to label your x1, x sub 1, y sub 1, x sub 2, and y sub 2. And then we're going to set it up. So just like what I did before, y sub 2, which is 2, minus y sub 1, which is -10, so parenthesis, -10. So when you plug in negative numbers, make sure to include parentheses. Over x sub 2, which is -1, minus x sub 1, which is 3. Alright, first I'm going to simplify the numerator because I have minus -10. So it's going to be 2 plus 10 in the numerator, and then -1 minus 3. So from there, I'm going to combine the top, the numerator, which is just 12, and then in the denominator, -1 minus 3, which is -4. And I can actually simplify this, which will be -3. So my slope is -3. So for the time being, my linear equation, which is in slope-intercept form, which I'm going to write right here, y equals mx plus b. So first I'm going to write y equal, we do know the value of our m, our slope, which is -3, x, and then plus b. So we're trying to find the value of b. So in order to find the value of b with this linear equation that I just made, we're going to use our coordinate points that we were given in the beginning. Now, you're free to use any other points. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do work for both points, and you should come out with the same value of b. So the first one is 3, -10. So this is my x, this is my y. So what I'm going to do is plug in the values for y and x. So for y is -10, so I'm going to write -10 here, equal -3. So for x, I'm going to put 3. And then plus b. So from there, I'm going to simplify -3 times 3, which is -9 plus b. And then in order to solve, I'm going to get b by itself, so I'm going to cancel out the -9. I'm going to add 9 to both sides while balancing the equation. So on the left, -10 plus 9 is -1 equal b. Alright, so I finished finding the b value. Now let's work with using the other coordinate point. So -1, 2. So I'm going to plug in the value of -1 into my x, the value of 2 into y. So this is what it's going to look like. So it's going to be 2 equal -3 parenthesis times -1 and then plus b. Next I'm going to simplify -3 times -1. So I'm going to have 2 equals +3 plus b. So after that, in order to get b by itself, I'm going to cancel out the 3. So I'm going to subtract 3 on both sides to balance my equation. So on the left of the equal sign, 2 minus 3 will be -1 equal, the only thing I have left is my b on the right side. So see how both coordinate points that I use in this linear equation that I made, both values of b is equal to -1 once you get to that point. And again, doesn't matter which point you use as long as you do the work correctly. I have my b value. Now I'm going to write my linear equation. Y equal, I know my slope, which is -3, and then x, and then my b value is -1, so I'm just going to write -1. And that would be my final answer for a linear equation when given 2 points. Again, doesn't matter which corner point you use, as long as you found the slope correctly, and then you work out correctly when plugging in the points to find your b-value. In this next example, our first corner point is 1, negative 2, and our second corner point is 3, 3. So, if you were to write a linear equation when given 2 points, you must find the slope. So, I need to label my x sub 1, y sub 1, x sub 2, y sub 2. So, m is going to equal to y sub 2, which is 3, and then minus y sub 1, so negative 2 here. So, remember, include parentheses when you're subtracting and plug in negative numbers. And then x sub 2, which is 3, minus x sub 1, which is 1. Alright, I'm going to simplify the numerator because it's minus negative 2. So in the numerator it's 3 plus 2 over 3 minus 1. So in my numerator, 3 plus 2 is 5, and my denominator, 3 minus 1, is 2. So my slope is m equals 5 over 2. So therefore it's going to be y equal 5 half, or 5 over 2, x plus b. Now we have to find our b value. So, say I want to use the first corner point, 1, comma, negative 2. So, this is my x, this is my y. I'm going to plug in negative 2 for the y and 1 for x. So this is how it's going to look like. Negative 2 equal 5 half times 1 plus b. Alright, so I'll plug in negative 2 for y and 1 for x. I'm going to simplify. So 5 half times 1 is just 5 half. So this is what you're going to have. Negative 2 equal 5 half plus b. Now, in order to solve for b, I need to get it by itself. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cancel out 5 half. So I'm going to subtract 5 half on both sides. So what I'm going to have is that on the left side it's going to be negative 2 minus 5 half. So negative 2 minus 5 half will equal to my b, because the 5 half cancel out on the right side. So I'm going to write this over here for more space. So, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip, meaning I'm going to put b on the left side. So it's going to equal to negative 2 minus 5 half. When I am subtracting or adding a fraction, I need to have common denominator. I have negative 2. That's a whole number, excuse me. So in order to convert it into a fraction, what I'm going to write is negative 2 over 1 and then minus 5 half. So in order to get common denominator, I'm going to multiply this fraction by 2 to the numerator and denominator. So this is what I'm going to have, negative 4 over 2, and then bring down minus 5 half. So now I have two fractions when I'm adding and subtracting that have common denominator. I'm just going to combine the numerator. So right now it's negative 4 minus 5. That's going to be negative 9 over 2. So that's our b value. So once you finish getting your b value, then you simply going to write your linear equation. So following this, it's going to be y equal my slope 5 half x, and then my b value. So since it's negative 9 over 2, I'm going to write minus 9 over 2. So that is my linear equation. So for this part, if you're adding and subtracting fraction, make sure to convert into the whole number into a fraction, and then find common denominator. Here, I'll multiply top and bottom by 2, so that I have a denominator of 2, and then I have negative 4 on the numerator. That's how I got negative 9 over 2 by combining these two fractions. And then here, again, is our linear equation when given 2 points.